Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
Sorry. Good morning. Because if you're like me, you're up super late last night watching that absolute banger of a game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cowboys. But this is the early bird special right here on 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. ESPN Bakersfield, streaming live video-wise on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live. I am Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry.
Oh, welcome to the early bird special. We made it to Friday. We made it. Now football is started, and we've got a jam-packed show. We'll recap last night's, as Burdick would say, a banger.
That was a banger. That was a fantastic game. I don't care what people say.
We knew it was going to be close. And if you listened yesterday, Bo Brady told you, take the points.
Take the points. But the thing I have to highlight as well, you called it. You called it before anybody. The weather was going to be a problem. And we had a whole hour delay. During that game, in which I think a lot of people were wondering, are we even going to get the end of this game?
I was starting to think so too.
I really was. There was a point where I was sitting there cooking dinner thinking, oh, we are not going to get the second half. At least until Sunday.
But we got a jam-packed show. We've got more football today. We've got the Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil. And you can hear that game right here with pregame beginning at 4:30. Today we'll have our first weekly pick'ems. You can call in 7:30 a.m. to 661-842-2000. If you think you can beat us in football picks, just dial in 842-2000, and we're going to give away these new freshly printed early bird special shirts. And then at the top of the hour, for all you Raider fans, we're going to welcome Jason Horowitz, the voice of the Las Vegas Raiders. He'll jump in at 8 o'clock. Plus, Alejandro from Bakersfield Pizza Company will join us at 8:30. Plus, you can always send in your fantasy lineup questions if you got any questions on who to start. And we are the champs. We can help you win that money in your fantasy league. Just text it into the same number, 842-2000. And let's get this Friday show started.
We got to start with that game. 24-20 was your final. Dallas had every chance in the world to come back and win that game.
And it started right in the beginning, man.
Absolutely.
And if you have individual defensive players like we do, I had the jackass that spit at Dak. And I know it was after Dak had spit at him. But either way.
That's the thing, right? What is the one rule that everybody is taught at a very young age in football? Don't retaliate. The retaliator is always the one who gets in trouble. And to be fair to Dak Prescott, what he did wasn't illegal. He was just spitting in the area. He never spit at Jalen Carter. He was just spitting at the ground. And Jalen didn't take kindly to that. And that's when Dak realized that and said, oh, really? Here we go. As he likes to say before every play.
And he points and he gets him thrown out of the game. And, of course, that was my defensive lineman on both of my fantasy leagues that have individual defensive players.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all right. Hopefully, Jalen got me enough points that that won't matter.
That's true, too. But you are going to be probably dealing with a longer suspension after this, I would assume, because the NFL is going to levy this.
They are investigating. And I was thinking the same thing last night, but I think that Dak retaliation part of it, I think he might just save. He already had to sit out a game. I think it probably, I'm putting my money on it's just probably going to be some fines.
You think so?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
If not, I'll drop his ass. I don't care. Defensive players are easy to pick up.
They really are. And you can get a good amount of them too. A lot of people don't play defensive players in their fantasy football leagues, but I highly encourage you do it. I tried it one year with friends. Actually, we had a whole defense one year. That was a little much. But when you can put one of each position there, they do put up a good amount of points for you, especially if they have a great game. You can get just as many points out of a defense and special teams or a kicker. So it's essentially just having 3 more of those.
Yeah, that's how I always looked at it, as 4 kickers.
Yeah, essentially.
And in most drafts, it kind of helps you because when players start getting managers start reaching
And-
out for defensive players, that's when I start stacking my team.
Yeah, I'm going to actually have to highlight, not to throw our league on blast, but those of you who chose a defensive player before you chose a defense, wild decision.
And they
But
do it every year. I'm
every
like,
year.
cool. I'm getting
That's
my
fine.
fifth and sixth running
That is
back and my
absolutely
fifth
fine.
and sixth receivers.
And for those of you who play in leagues like, I don't know if ESPN still allows you to do defensive players. I know NFL does, but some of these leagues can get really, really close in points, really close. And that could be just what you need to levy yourself above your opponent. So I always say jump into it. But getting to the entire matter at hand with Jalen Carter, this is a bigger issue, I think, than people realize, because Jalen came into the league with kind of question marks about his personality and his ability to stay cool in these things, in these situations, I should say. And now everybody's going to be looking to do that to you every single game. You showed your cards, sir. You showed everybody that you are a retaliator. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised at all if every center and guard in the league is now planning, oh, I'm going to do something to get in this kid's head.
And keep picking at him.
Because if you saw what the defense looked like without him last night, vastly different. Javonte Williams most likely does not get those 2 touchdowns if Jalen Carter is playing that game.
I did talk to Chris Flail, another Eagles fan, throughout the game, and he was pumped. He's like, this is the attitude we need. And I'm like, well, this attitude is biting you guys in the ass.
That attitude almost cost you the game.
If it wasn't for that fumble towards the end of the game, that attitude almost blew that game for you.
And let's be honest, the defense didn't play well at all. CeeDee Lamb was tearing you up before he couldn't catch a football at the end of the game.
4 drops.
And honestly, that last one wasn't his fault. He had to dive for it. It was a real tough ball to catch. I don't necessarily put that on either of them. Dak had to make a play. CeeDee had to make a play, and it just didn't work out.
CeeDee came out after the game, and he was like, dude, if I could put 2 hands on it, that's my fault.
That's fair.
That's what you are taught as a receiver.
Yeah,
if you can touch it, then that's your ball.
That's the mentality of most receivers. But he needs to take a page from his teammate George Pickens' book and start extending those arms to catch those footballs. But the 3 that he dropped were also pivotal, because those situations could have easily built the momentum for you to keep this entire thing going and get you into the end zone to take the lead. And going against the Eagles team that was, honestly, the offense looked about as good as we thought. A.J. Brown only getting targeted 1 time throughout the entire game was probably the biggest surprise. And it was
they doubled him all game. I was happy.
True.
I was happy. And Goddard, who wasn't really picked up in most of my fantasy leagues, was the blanket. He was the security that Jalen would throw to.
True.
But I think it'll switch up. I really was more surprised that other players like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, I think Devontae only got 3 catches, but a lot of it was just based on running that ball.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, right? Most of the time when Jalen was under pressure, he didn't have a lot of time to really make that decision to get the ball to the receivers, which is fair. But one thing that Dallas did that really bit him in the butt, and this is something that they're going to have to figure out going forward with the new defensive coordinator. You allowed a running quarterback to really just manhandle you on the ground. Although you were getting back there at times, there was no real containment of Jalen Hurts, which allowed all of these open lanes, the big run plays at the end of the game. I mean, I know a lot of people are fed up with the fact that the Eagles are just running the football, but that's really what won them the championship last year. And I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't work for you. I've been harping this for years. If you want to win a championship in football, get a run game. That's really the one thing that you could say is the most sustainable in football. If you have a run game, you're going to win. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves to say, oh, it's a quarterback-driven league, and we love to throw the ball. I get that. Flashy plays obviously bring in more fans. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you can run out the clock on a team, you're going to win. And that's what the Eagles have done a very good job at doing the last 2 years. And that's what they did to Dallas last night. You're right. They made a key play on the defensive side before that long hour break that we had, which honestly helped Dallas in a way that we haven't seen in an NFL game since a Super Bowl a couple years ago between the Ravens and the 49ers. But when all of that momentum got sucked out of the stadium right after that fumble, you were allowed to come back as a defense and keep Philadelphia where they were. I mean, we watched this game start with 8 straight drives with points. And that's really where it stopped.
Every drive, and those penalties bit them in the ass
That
too.
should have been what was the dagger in the heart for Philadelphia. You had so many plays where I was just like, what are you doing? And that's why I'm saying I get fans like our guy Chris Flail who think this is the attitude you need in Philadelphia. I say no. This type of play is not going to beat the Buffalo Bills. It's not going to beat the Ravens. It's not going to beat the Niners. It's not going to beat those teams that are established and are disciplined. Shoot, I'll tell you right now, it probably wouldn't beat the Chiefs or the Chargers.
It won't beat a lot of teams now that they have tape. They're going to have to switch up a lot of things. But I think it was just, I won't overreact. It's week one.
Right. I'm not
obviously,
saying they're bad.
But I do think the defense, especially that secondary in Philly, is going to be suspect until they work it out.
And if you were smart enough to bet on the game, I mean, Bolt Brady gave you the bet yesterday. 8.5 points
baby.
was way too much. Way too much. And it showed yesterday. And I think as we saw and we talked about, Dallas doesn't look as bad as we thought they would. Defensively, there's still a couple question marks. But if you're able to keep a guy like A.J. Brown to one target, which was literally the last play of the game.
Yeah, the staple or the coffin closed.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going to have to start saying I might have to eat crow about Diggs at least and Bland because they're starting to show that they can cover.
Dude, that hit that Bland took.
Yeah.
Wow. But you could tell in the second half, that hour break, that second halftime really did help Dallas because they changed up that defensive scheme where they had the rolling linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just eyeballing Hurts, and it helped in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter, one of those final drives where the linebacker came around.
It definitely gave them the opportunity to figure out what was up. And honestly, I love the story, too, of Trayvon Diggs trying to find food for the team in between. That was pretty funny. Although I'm very surprised that the Dallas team trusted any kind of food coming from the Philadelphia stadium.
Right.
Like, really? You guys are just going to trust that they're not going to give you something with batteries in it or something? I don't know. But the entire game was so much fun to watch. I'm glad we got the second half, even though it was a stretched out game and I didn't get to go to bed last night until about 11. But it is what it is. And it's a great way to start the season. We got banner night, and I love how they strategically put it right when the team was coming out. So they had to be out there when the banner went down. But
Philly chanting,
yeah,
our Cowboys suck.
That was awesome. And you're going to get that every single year. We're going to see these teams meet up again in week 12. I'm very curious to see what comes out of that game in Dallas because it might be a completely different case, to be honest with you. I think if Dallas can figure this out in the next 3-4 weeks, they're going to be I won't say a contender for a Super Bowl, but at least a contender for a playoff spot. And if that is the case, they're going to be fighting teams like Philadelphia tooth and nail just to get some positioning. So this is going to be a great season. I can already tell. We got a game tonight. You can hear it right here on ESPN Bakersfield as the Chargers and the Chiefs take each other on in Brazil. I'm very curious to see what the field conditions are going to be like in that game, as well as the weather. I'll look that up here during the break and hopefully give you guys an answer on that. And maybe if that is going to become an issue, much like it did yesterday. But are there any lingering questions that you have from that game yesterday, Spark? Because I think both teams really came to play and showed that they're going to be better than people thought.
I mean, I kind of expected the Jalen driven type deal. I was still a little upset at the beginning because I was like, dude, you just took 5-10 points out of me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I was kind of on the fence on drafting Jalen Hurts in fantasy, and I've got him in about 3 or 4 leagues. I'm happy with what they got. They're going to have to work out the quirks with the receivers. I do like what they're doing. Barkley looked good. He looked fresh. And with Dallas, I wasn't too surprised. I knew they were going to feed CeeDee Lamb, and even their backfield looked good. But I don't know if that's because Philly's defense didn't look 100% because they did miss. I mean, they lost several big studs on that defensive side, and they're getting younger. I'm personally not a big fan of Vic Fangio and his defensive scheme. He waited until the 2 minutes left in the game to blitz. And I'm like, dude, you could have blitzed all game because they had him. But he kept doing the front four and still getting burned by CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, dude, you got to change it up. But that's what I've learned from Vic Fangio over the years. Even when he was in Miami, had the same where I was banging my head up against the wall. I'm like, what are we doing? But I think overall, I think Dallas is going to be a middle of the pack team. I think they'll be fighting for a playoff. And I think Philly's got some things to work out in the defensive side. And I think with some reps and, obviously getting that game one out of the way with the win, I think we'll see a lot more. I know, as a Flail was saying, he was worried about AJ Brown. Oh, he could have been a 2,000-yard receiver on any other team. And I'm like, dude, just relax. It's the first game. And if you look at it as a coach or a manager, I mean, AJ Brown's pulling two players out of the defense. So that's what you want. I mean, obviously, you want him to have a 100-yard game every game. But if he's taking two defensive players out of the way, that's opening up the holes where Jalen was running or Barkley was running or Dallas Goedert, who had 7 receptions. And I mean, they made it work, but they're going to have a plan B if this secondary isn't going to be as good as obviously they've been in the last few years.
See, the AJ Brown thing is the only thing to me where I'm wondering, not necessarily how they're going to get him involved, but it's kind of mandatory because with somebody like AJ Brown, if you have another game like this, he's never had a game where he's never been targeted, and especially not that long for the first target. I know that he's probably well aware of how the offense is going to go, but there were a couple, questionable comments last year when he
Oh, yeah.
wasn't getting
He
used.
was on his way out.
And if that is going to continue, I wouldn't be surprised if AJ has one of those moments where saying, I'm done. I'm done with this. Because much like Chris said, he could be he could be a massive receiver for any other team. And I get that, yeah, he's a massive distraction for every defense to have to double team and make sure that he's not going to get the ball. But offenses have been able to beat that before. You're able to scheme your best players into open situations and get them the ball. So I think Philadelphia is going to need to find a way to do that, not only just to appease their number one receiver and keep him happy, because I'm going to tell you right now, if they solely lean on the run game as they seem to want to do, which works, don't get me wrong, you're not going to have very happy wide receivers at the end of the day. And we all know that there is about 2 or 3 positions in football that are very, very vocal when they're not happy, and wide receiver is one of them. And AJ Brown is not somebody that's really going to shy away from letting everybody know how he feels. So I would
next week
be
they're
concerned.
in Kansas City, so we'll get to see him again on TV, and I think the same thing. I mean, but Philly, remember last year, 4 or 5 weeks in, they were ready to fire their coach and just blow up the whole thing. AJ Brown wanted out. I think they'll figure it out, and AJ Brown is too big of a stud to just overlook.
That's the plan, or that's
But
the hope.
we'll take our break. And remember, if you want to get into our football picks at 7:30, get on that line, 842-2000. We'll take our break, and we'll be right back on the Early Bird Special.
Stay connected. Bakersfield, 30 a.m. 101.1 FM.
Welcome back. This is the early bird special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM ESPN Bakersfield, as well as streaming online at YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, all over the place. Just find us at the early bird special. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok. That's where you'll see our usually we'll post our stories and stuff like that traditionally to Instagram the most. That's where you'll see when you can qualify for different tickets and our guest lineup and all that type of good stuff. So go follow us on there, share, like, all that type of good stuff.
Well, we only got a couple minutes before our football picks, and we've got one more spot open if you'd like to call in 842-2000. But looking into this game, another division game, this one outside the country, we want to worry about the field, but looking into it, a lot of these big teams like the Chiefs, the Bengals, even the Eagles are Bengals. Yeah, but teams that usually finish strong have a feel where they start the season a little slow. I remember last year it was Baltimore that lost the season opener at the end with likely stepping out of bounds in the back of the end zone. But do you see this as a, I don't know the odds right now. I think last time I looked, it was Kansas City by 4.
Let me check.
But do you think this, as obviously is a division game, the Chargers always play them tough? If we see a low-scoring game where it's more of like the 14-6, 14-8 type game, or do you think it'll be kind of like last night where we saw 5-6 straight scoring drives?
Right now, Kansas City is favored by 3.5. By the way,
went down a little bit
by ESPN Bet. It's hard to say, to be honest with you. I think both teams are going to want to come out firing and pretty much do what the Eagles and Cowboys were able to do yesterday in the first half, 8 straight drives, points. I think every team would love to start that way, but it is going to be a rough going for both of these teams just because the defenses are both very stout against, division opponents. And as I've said in our defense and tight ends video, which will be going up this weekend, I apologize. The Kansas City Chiefs have silently created a defensive-minded team the last couple of years. They've stopped relying on Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to score all the points and just outscore people. They kind of learned in the playoffs and in the Super Bowls, if we could stop people from scoring,
what do you know?
Yeah, it might actually be easier to win games. Patrick won't be as stressed. We don't have to worry about that so much. So they've kind of silently turned it around in that area. Trent McDuffie is a fantastic corner. Chris Jones, what else can we say about
Chris Jones? I'm thinking, I know Mahomes is going to start feeding Kelce a lot.
And that's the thing is they're going to get their stuff rolling very, very quickly. Patrick's going to try to find a receiver very, very quickly that he can rely on, especially since Rice is out for the first couple weeks. I would expect both of these teams to come out firing. I know Harbaugh is going to want the run game on the opposite side to work out. So we're going to see a lot of Amari and Hampton. We're going to see a lot of Najee Harris. I think we're going to see a lot of Keenan Allen, who's going to get that old, bike going again with Justin Herbert. So it's going to be an interesting game. I do expect this game probably to hit the over. You got your over under at 46.5 right now. I would go with the over. I think we're going to see probably something along the same lines as Philadelphia, Dallas last night, but with actually scoring in the second half. So maybe this game ends 28-24, maybe even up in the 35 area if Kansas City can score a little bit easier on this secondary, because that is the one part of the team on the other side when it comes to the Chargers that I'm not sold on is your secondary, at least at the corner position. You lost a couple of them. I know you have Derwin James, but he's not exactly the greatest cover guy.
No.
He's more of a big hitter, and he makes a lot of plays for you, which is fantastic. You need that. But when it comes down to really covering guys like Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, you're going to have to really stick to these speedy receivers. Hollywood Brown, if he's in the lineup tonight, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, he's playing.
So you're going to have to deal with that. And to be honest with you, I would trust the Kansas City Chiefs defense more than I trust the Chargers. So I'm going to say this game goes probably 35 points to 24, somewhere in that area.
You're taking the over on the total score. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with the Chargers covering those points. I think I am, for some reason, I'm leaning on the Chargers pulling out a crazy win. That was my reach, but we'll get into our football picks right now. We'll take our break, and then coming up at 8 o'clock, we'll have Jason Horowitz, the voice of the Las Vegas Raiders. Since we are the home of the Raiders, why not talk Raiders? They have plenty to talk about over there in Vegas, especially with Amari Cooper.
Mhm.
Surprise retirement yesterday, but we'll talk about that. But after this break, we'll do week 1 NFL pick'ems. If you want to win a early bird shirt, all you got to do is beat one of us. That's all you got to do. You don't have to beat both of us. I know it's difficult.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm usually about 50-50 with these games. I like to take risks.
Yeah.
I love taking risks on NFL football.
But
So
call in 842-2000. We'll do our football picks right after this. This is the Early Bird Special on ESPN Bakersfield, 1230 a.m.
101.1 FM.
Call or text into the Early Bird Dom.
Greatest time of the year, Sparky.
I'm gonna let you take on Jeremy one-on-one.
Are you?
I'm gonna sit out this one.
Okay.
It's just you and Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy. Week
Okay.
1 is upon us. Good day, sir. Good morning. Thank
Good
you for being
morning.
our first contestant. All you got to do is beat me in football picks, and you win yourself an EBS T-shirt, sir. Are you ready?
What? Sparky got scared?
Apparently,
yes.
Sparky got
I'll
scared.
call that. I just don't want to double beat up on you.
Conflict of interest, I guess. Is
Yeah,
is
and
better
you're a
way to
Dolphin
put it.
fan. I'm giving you love. And
Okay, I'll take a low.
And if we don't have the size, I will special order the size you need, whatever you want. I just need you to be Burdick.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's not start this. All right, let's go, Jeremy. I'm giving everybody Philadelphia because obviously the game's already up. But who you got tonight, Kansas City or the Chargers?
Is this straight up?
Straight up, no points.
Kansas City.
All right, I am also taking Kansas City because that is just, I don't know. I have some belief that the Chargers aren't going to be able to get it done. Sorry there, Tyson. We'll move over to Sunday. Tampa Bay starting out their season at Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Gosh dang it, man. I can't pick against my Falcons. I'm sorry. Tampa Bay, I think, is a big question mark, unlike what Mr. Schefter believes. And
Atlanta's not?
Look, man, I know what we got. And it ain't the flashiest thing on the planet, but we got Bijan Robinson and Drake London, and that's enough for me. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Will the Bengals shake off this slow start that they are notorious for? What do you got, Jeremy?
Bengals.
I'm going to go with Cleveland. I don't think Cincinnati pulls this off. I think
What?
they continue with the slow start. Miami at Indianapolis. I would assume. Yes, we're going with the Dolphins.
Of course.
All right. I'm going to go with you too. I do not believe at all in Indianapolis. This is not going to work. Daniel Jones is not a starting quarterback. We've been down this route. Carolina at Jacksonville.
Panthers.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I'm not sure if the Panthers are going to be a team to beat this year at all. And to be honest with you, I'm still not sold on Bryce Young. I know they benched him last year and they looked a little bit better, but I am not 100% if he's going to come back that same quarterback we've seen. Let's go with the next one. The Raiders against the Patriots in New England.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I feel like the Patriots are that dark horse team that not a lot of people are talking about this year. And unlike Sparky, Drake May looked good to me.
Drake May is garbage.
I don't know about that. I think he's going to shock a lot of people. Let's go with the Cardinals at New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Really? Okay, I'll give you that one. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I have no faith in New Orleans. I mean,
That's the game of the week.
Spencer Rattler, baby. I'm not sure, but I'll let you have that one, Jeremy. We got Aaron Rodgers taking on his former team with the Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Jets in New Jersey.
Pittsburgh.
I'm also going to go with Pittsburgh. I don't know. Do you believe in the Jets this year, Sparky?
No.
Not at all?
No.
You don't believe
Even
in the
Jet
Ohio
fans-
Jets?
Even Jet fans don't believe the
we
Jets
don't believe
will
in the
win.
Ohio State Jets?
No.
Oh, sorry, Shauna.
I'm not a big Ohio State fan either, so they can both go to hell.
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. We'll go with Russell Wilson and the Giants headed to Washington to take on Jaden Daniels.
Washington.
I'm also going to go with Washington. I'm not sure if the Giants are going to be able to bounce back until Jackson Dart becomes that guy for them. Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward gets his first game in the NFL against the Denver Broncos and that stud defense in Denver.
Denver.
It's hard to take on the Denver Broncos and not pick them, right? It really is, but I'm also going to go with Denver. I don't know.
You set it up. I thought you were going to take Tennessee.
I thought so too, but no, I'm going to stick with Denver. Bo Nix, again, like I said yesterday, I would love to build a franchise around that kid.
So hot.
I have a great feeling that he's going to have a great season. San Francisco is headed to Seattle to take on the brand new Seahawks.
And McCaffrey's questionable, I will
Again.
just say, but I would expect him to play.
Seattle.
I'm going to take the 49ers. I think Brock Purdy and George Kittle is enough to take out the Seahawks, but that's just me.
I think Seattle's defense is going to be no joke.
We'll see. We will see. Detroit Lions headed to Green Bay to take on the Bakersfield boy and Jordan Love.
Detroit.
I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I think this is the game that they start to show everybody that they are legit. And the newlywed Jordan Love shows everybody why getting that ring on your finger doesn't have to be a Super Bowl ring to make you feel good. Houston headed to LA to take on the Rams.
The Rams.
I'm going to go with Houston. I like Houston in this game. I like CJ Stroud. I think he's really going to have a step forward year this year. Remind everybody why he was so good as a rookie. Then we'll go with the Sunday night game. Baltimore headed to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen.
Baltimore.
I'm going to go with Buffalo.
Of course you are.
AO Buffalo. I am going to ride with Josh Allen until it proves otherwise to be ineffective.
And I think the green toy is going to make an appearance.
Do you think?
I will say.
Well, I mean, this did technically originate in Buffalo.
Started.
Could you imagine a wave of them? Could we?
No.
Whoa. Actually, just thinking this out loud. Yo, if everybody just grabbed one and threw it on the field at the same time, now that
and hit Josh Allen, I'd be happy.
Now, if this cryptocurrency company ends up being out of Buffalo, all of it would make sense. It would all make sense.
And this is the Monday night game. Throw in your your total score.
Minnesota at Chicago. Who we got?
The Vikings and 55.
We got 55 on the line. I'm going to go with the Bears. I think Ben Johnson gets it done. I'm going to say this is a lower scoring game, though. So I'm going to go with 47.
All right. You got 7 different. You said 47.
Yeah, I'm going with 47 on my point total.
All right. Good luck, Jeremy.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, sir. We appreciate you being the first one. And we will be doing this every single week with prizes involved. This week it's a t-shirt. Next week it could be tickets. You never know.
You never know.
We got Kern County Fair tickets coming around the corner too.
They are coming.
I'm just saying.
And you'll see your boy. I get to introduce Sugar Ray this year.
What? Look at you.
I know all you girls are just hating on me, but
I might be there for that concert just to see that and get some pictures. See, we will get you on stage.
Yes,
You were saying yesterday we'd never get you on stage. We'll get you on a dang stage.
Not an open mic, but I will. I'll introduce Sugar Ray.
I knew it.
We'll take our break. We'll wrap up this hour before we get into some Raiders talk with the voice of the Las Vegas Raiders right here on the Early Bird Special.
You are hanging with Sparky and Burdick from the Baker.
Welcome back.
Well, we can either get into a couple of these texts, or I've got some miscellaneous stories I'd like to bounce off you.
Let's do the text first. We don't do those enough, and I feel like we need to acknowledge that.
should.
Yeah, we need
The
to
first
start doing
one
that more.
says, "Do I go with Hollywood Brown or Debo this week?"
I say Debo. I think Debo is in a better spot with Washington. And right now, until Kansas City can really find a wide receiver one, it's hard to say which one's going to have the most production. So I would say go with Debo Samuel. I have a good feeling that Washington has some schemes to get him involved in this offense early.
Yeah, I'm behind Debo.
Yeah, I am
so
too.
I know there's other shows that saying, Debo, I wouldn't trust Debo as long as Debo's healthy, whether he's in Frisco or
Yep.
Washington. I think he's going to be a perfect fit with Jaden. The next one says, "Do I go with Jordan Love against Detroit or Stafford against Houston?"
That is not an easy choice, to be honest with you. Stafford, obviously, we still have to see how he plays with this back situation, and I'm not 100% sold that he's 100%, period. I'd say go with Jordan. The Detroit Lions, I've been saying it all offseason, lost 8 coaches, including their 2 coordinators. That's a lot to lose in one offseason and come back the same. Although I do expect them to still be formidable, I don't think it's going to be as easy for them to hold some of these teams down. So I would say go with Jordan.
That one's tough.
It really
I do
is.
like Golden. I do like what the Packers have built.
God, but I love Puka, and
I do like Stafford
Adams
on this
and
one.
Higbee and
I was going to say
Williams.
Higbee.
And God,
I think
it's so
Kyron's
hard
going to
to
get some
choose.
yards, but I also like Devontae over there.
But it really just boils down to which defense do you believe is going to falter more. And
Exactly.
personally, I'm going to go with Detroit over Houston.
Really?
Yeah,
Man, and
until I could see what they
split
can
this
do
guy.
without Glenn.
I like Stafford just because of the weapons. But I mean, it's really a flip of a coin, and you're going to have that problem every week. I'm just going to tell you, when you have 2 quarterbacks around the same style with the same type of weapons.
When you get Stafford against teams, rather, I apologize, like the Niners and all that interdivision play Stafford. He goes off. He is always the star. Like, don't get me wrong, most of the season you're probably going to be playing Stafford.
This one is a question. It says, "Who's more likely to you guys to win MVP? Is it Josh Allen or Lamar?"
If he has a good season, Josh Allen, but that's only because he's working with less.
Yeah, I'm leaning on Lamar just because he's got something on a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
and he's got more weapons. Again.
Yeah, fair. And obviously they added another one with Hopkins coming in, which another fantasy football player that not a lot of people grabbed.
Fell under the radar. Yep.
But personally, this is why I feel like the MVP shouldn't be given out until after the Super Bowl.
Exactly. We've been saying that for a while.
Because it really should boil down to the playoffs. Who got past? Because that's always the biggest question mark to me about Lamar. I know a lot of people who don't like Lamar as a quarterback because he runs too much or what have you. He just doesn't play the style that you like, and that's understandable. But you can't deny that Lamar Jackson is one of the best athletes on a football field every time he's out there. And it's hard to say he doesn't deserve the MVP. But when you have all of those pieces, I have to assume that that's going to be in the voters' heads of, well, yeah, of course he did good. He had Derrick Henry behind him. He had DeAndre Hopkins and Zay Flowers catching balls for him. He had 2-3 tight ends that were all fantastic, even though Mark Andrews has been an absolute misnomer for the last 2-3 years. No one knows where the heck that guy went. But at this point, I would say Josh Allen just because he's working with less. And I think you're going to see more games where he is going to have to be the hero, if that makes sense. If they win in Buffalo, it's going to be solely because of Josh Allen. And at the end of the day, that's what the MVP is all about. Who's the most valuable to their team? So I would say Josh is the best.
And for tonight's game, he says, "I took your guys' comments and took Najee and Hampton, but now I'm stuck. Which one do I start?"
Start Omarion this weekend because Najee's coming off the injury still. He hasn't had a lot of time with the first stringers. I think you see a little more Hampton tonight than you do Harris.
I know Najee's starting, but I would expect the same thing. I think Hampton will get more carries.
I agree. So it just is going to come down to which way the Chargers want to go. But I think Hampton's probably going to be the one that has a little more shine to him tonight. But that's just my personal opinion. But to be fair, though, my advice wasn't necessarily for you to
draft them
take
both.
both. You were supposed to take whoever is the number one
Which is Najee right now.
right now. Yeah.
But Hampton's
so,
got obviously
but
the upside.
don't get me wrong. Taking both isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if the Chargers end up having one of the top 5 running offenses, because now you have both, and obviously the production of both equals pretty good numbers.
Well,
But
I've learned to do when I've done that, it's always bit me in the ass. So
Yeah.
I usually try to go with one, because when I start one, the other one goes off, and then I'm going back and forth all season. So I mean, even with our leagues, I was looking at Chubb and Mixon. I was like, okay, whichever one he takes, I take the other one.
Yeah, and honestly, and you had to take Chubb in most of them because I took Mixon. But it's kind of like when you handcuff running backs, it's interesting. That's why I'll only do it if there's an opportunity to get one at the very, very end of the draft. So in my situation, it would have been like I picked up Bijan Robinson as my first pick, Tyler Algier is my last one, because they're both going to get production, but I'm very rarely ever going to use both on the team at the same time. So I don't know. I am not crazy about handcuffing those or running backs as I do quarterbacks and receivers.
Well, if you have any more lineup questions, send them in. We've got another hour to get into them, but I wanted to bounce off this story. It came out yesterday. So North Carolina and head coach Bill Belichick have now officially prohibited any New England Patriot personnel from accessing any Tar Heel programs. They can go to up to 3 practices. That's all. And they can only sit with one worker from North Carolina. So they have to hit with one media. But I've never seen a college pretty much ban an NFL team.
That's what I'm saying.
From scouting their squad.
For anybody who says that Bill Belichick still isn't salty, I mean, there's clearly some animosity still between Bill and Robert Kraft, or at least the front office of the New England Patriots, because why would he falter any team for trying to come and scout his guys when your entire idea in this program is to create professional football
Athletes,
players? Yeah. That's what you keep saying, is that
I'm going to
create a professional level program in college. So that doesn't make much sense to me, but okay, Bill.
Yeah. And then keeping it into college football, another one came out yesterday. The NCAA Oversight Committee has now voted to cut down the transfer portal into a single 10-day window starting January 2026, one day after the after the playoff quarterfinals. And it'll eliminate the spring transfer period. And that's something we talked during the offseason, is it was just getting out of control, where players were trading or jumping from team to team every portal window.
Yeah, not even playing for the team that they had agreed to go to. And this is where it all gets weird, right? I mean, that's kind of the problem with NIL, is that these kids are going to go whoever wants to pay them the most, just like any job, really. But I think that's a smart move. Doing one transfer portal time period would work. Then whoever you choose to go to, you have to play for them for at least a year. So it would also make sure that these athletes actually think about their decision and make the right one, rather than just making one on a whim because a team flashed a check in your face and said, "Ooh, look."
Yeah, and then a month later, another school outbids them.
Exactly. It's like, let's have one time period where every team has to go out, find the players they want to transfer, and you do it right. And then they just stay there for the year. That way, most of the criticism, at least, of these transfer portal periods goes by the wayside, because now they're forced to play for a year. Which, honestly, you really should. If you agreed to go somewhere to play for them, at least play a year, dude.
You're agreeing to play there.
It's like, this is ridiculous. You can't exactly go to an NFL team or an NBA team, agree to play there for a year, sign a contract, and then say, drop me, and want all of your money. So it's a good life lesson for them as well, just to sit there and know, maybe I should wait to figure out which school actually wants me and which one I should actually go to.
And the Indiana Fever, announced this morning, Caitlin
She
Clark
back?
done for the season.
Oh, God.
Done.
So the WNBA season is over, ladies and
Pretty
gentlemen.
much.
I did. God.
That hurts. That hurts viewership as well.
Oh, you could kiss viewership goodbye. Are you kidding? I'm sorry. Like I hate saying that, but this is also going to be a shell shocker though to the athletes because they're not going to be happy about it during playoff time when the numbers are vastly lower than people want them to be. But again, it's just the draw of Caitlin. It's what she can pull. I mean, I know a lot of players don't like hearing this, and albeit it's understandable, but you can't argue that this girl pulls in people. She pulls in viewership. I mean, did you see the video yesterday of the cameraman that was nowhere close to her, but she thought almost clipped her? And then everybody in the comments were just reaming for that guy to get fired. It's like, dude, calm down. But that's how protected she is. She's America's sweetheart. We think it's Taylor Swift. No, no, no. Caitlin Clark. That is America's true sweetheart right there. The competitive, fiery white girl in the WNBA. We got to take a break. On the other side, we're going to talk to the voice of the Raiders. We're talking Raiders versus Patriots. Plus, we're going to get some answers, hopefully, about what happened with Amari Cooper. Was this something they knew going in? Or was there just something that happened that made Amari say, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to hang up. We'll find out right now, right on the other side of this break. I apologize. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.
One in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. We have Jason on the line. I know he was on the stream for a second, and I don't know what exactly happened. We lost him for a sec. But Mr. Horowitz, can you hear us?
Hey guys, how are you? I know you can't see me there. I don't know why the camera's not live, but as long as you can hear me, we're all good.
Yep, I got
right.
you. Fantastic. Glad you could join us, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. Real quick, we have to
Tyreek
start
Hill.
with this.
Hold on a second here. As I'm hopping, I can see you guys. You can't see. What do we have? A Beatles shirt?
Absolutely.
Is that a Tyreek Hill jersey?
It is.
We got it's a weird mix over in this side, my friend. I'm gonna tell you right now. We are the Raiders affiliate, but this show is run by a Dolphin fan and a Falcons fan, believe it or not.
Well, like I'm all for. Listen, my 8-year-old, he doesn't commit to fandom, so like, he's probably the most eclectic fan I've ever met. He's a Celtics, Ravens. Raiders are in there too, obviously, because of what Dad does. But like
Of course.
Celtics, Ravens, Florida Panthers, LA Dodgers, Detroit Tigers, Cincinnati.
So
Like
winners.
basically that's right. He
Yeah,
jumps
so
around.
winners. That's what it is.
That's right.
He's
That's
all
right.
about
He
the
jumps
win.
around.
That's fantastic. I love that. Real quick, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate your time as always. Obviously, we got to talk about the Raiders and Patriots this weekend, but we have to start with Amari Cooper. Obviously, the news that
Yeah.
came out. Was this something that the team knew was going to be coming, or is this just out of the blue?
I don't want to speak for the team because I think when they signed him, it's weird because it felt like it was in conjunction when they signed him with the Jacoby Myers trade request because it kind of came out at the exact same time. I think the Jacoby Myers contract thing. I know the Jacoby Myers contract discussion has been ongoing for months. So that was not just thrown up at there at the same time and like, oh, we see that, so we're going to sign Amari Cooper. Amari's a veteran. Clearly, with what has happened here in the last 10 days, he had been thinking about retirement to begin with. That had been talked about all summer long as one of the best available free agents who hadn't signed with anybody. So maybe he comes back to camp and he's like, I just don't, I thought I was ready to retire and I just don't really think I want to do this anymore. So I think it's probably something they thought he was good to go. He thought he was good to go. He's in camp and maybe just heart not in it anymore. So we'll move forward. Raiders had obviously all of training camp without him anyway.
Right.
And we'll see if they bring up a fifth wide receiver. They have a couple of them on the practice squad. Bo Jackson's great nephew, Shedrick Jackson, had a really nice training camp. Alex Bachman's a guy who's he played a little bit last year. He's kicked around the NFL on training camps and practice squads, and he's done that for 5 or 6 years. So we'll see who they bring up. But the 4 receivers that they're planning to go with are the 4 that were already there, and that's Dante Thornton, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and then the rookie Jack Besh, who was the second-round pick.
Plus, you got Brock Powers. So, I mean,
Right.
I think they'll be fine. And, just going into this new, the new coaching, the whole different coordinators, the Pete Carroll type. I mean, coming in, we have a ton of Raider fans here in Bakersfield. And that's why we are the home of the Raiders and have been the home of the Raiders for multi-years. But what have you seen just as as a play-by-play guy, or just, the difference with Pete Carroll bringing in, obviously with the different quarterback with Geno, obviously some veteran presence. I mean, what can Raider fans really expect this year with this new coaching school?
Well, I mean, you've got decisions being made by a guy who's doing it the same way he did it for USC in Seattle because he knows it works, right? And so you've got that aspect of it. People have talked about the energy. I think players feel free to go out and do what they do best. He trusts them to do what got them here, and then put them in position. So you've got that leadership aspect of it. I saw a video this offseason of him teaching at USC, and he was talking about like the different ways to be a leader. And he's like, you got the Bobby Knight way of thing, which is the total other end of the spectrum of the Pete Carroll way of doing things, right? So,
Naturally.
you see that when you're around practice, when you're at training camp, when you hear him talk, you see it, you buy into it, and it's worked for him. But beyond that, guys, Chip Kelly is an innovator, right? So Pete Carroll is the head coach, but Chip Kelly is the highest paid coordinator in the league. He's coming off of a season where he just won the national championship. He had, one of the best running teams in football the 2 of the 3 years he was the head coach of the Eagles. So I think you can expect that. And, part of that obviously is Ashton Genty. Part of that is the offensive coordinator. But a big part of that is that how's the offensive line going to gel? You can't run the football if the offensive line can't block. So that is, to me, the biggest question heading into week one is just how different is the Raiders running game from a year ago when it was historically bad?
And going against the Patriots in week one, I mean, that's a great test for the Raiders, I would say. Going in against Mike Vrabel and all of this just tough defensive minded team. What are you expecting to see on Sunday?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many overlap storylines. You know, both teams were 4-13 a year ago. Both teams new head coaches who have been there, done that, and had success. Particularly with defensive-minded guys, right? Pete Carroll, you know, Legion of Boom, Super Bowl, like they were as good of a defense as this league has seen for a long time. And Mike Vrabel, hard-nosed Titans, the whole thing. Yes, they ran the football, but they did it with defense too. So you got those two aspects of it. But the Patriots have a lot to prove, and they brought in their whole defense. I mean, nobody spent more on free agents this offseason than New England, and a lot of those are on the defensive side. Milton Williams and clearly the Eagles missed him last night with Jalen Carter. You know, Robert Spillane was the captain of the defense for the Raiders the last couple of years. Caleb Chaison's a former first-round pick who didn't really do anything with Jacksonville, but had a nice season with the Raiders last year. And so he's in New England. So you got a lot of new parts, but you've also got a younger secondary in New England, and Geno Smith's a veteran who's been around. So it's a good opening test in that you're not playing a team who's, you know, one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in the league, but you are also playing a team that you're not positive where you're going to get. So it is a good opening test with a lot of really good storylines.
And it's funny to me as a Dolphins fan in California, trust me, it's not easy. But and my older brother is a diehard Raiders fan, so he's listening. He's pumped. He's been listening to you right here on ESPN Bakersfield. But we've always had this weird relationship where our players, you know, bounce back and forth between the Dolphins and Raiders. Not only Raheem Mostert, which I believe that he's going to have a hell of a season backing up Genty. I think Mostert is one of those running backs that gets overlooked. The guy, as long as he can keep the ball off the ground, I know the last year in Miami had some fumbling issues, but I think having that, and I'm looking at the defense. I'm a defensive-minded guy with guys like Jeremy Chin. You know, Landon Roberts was also a Dolphin. He is a stud. I mean, obviously, it's a whole different type of different mindset with the defensive veteran presence that the Raiders have brought in. Have you seen anything different? And I also want to see, you know, that defensive line with the big hole with Christian Wilkins gone. I mean, how do you think the Raiders address that this season?
Well, we'll start with the defense first. I mean, it's the whole back is new. You know, pretty much the entire back seven of the Raiders is brand new. One of the only holdovers is Isaiah Polamau, who is, you know, USC guy. Was an undrafted free agent, didn't get a chance to really play a lot until actually his only career interceptions against the Dolphins. So there you go, 2023. But last year, because Marcus Epps got hurt week 3, he came in and he started the rest of the season, and they liked him a lot. And he's big and he's long, and he reminds Pete Carroll, I would think, of a lot of the corners and safeties he had when he was with Seattle, and that's kind of been what they went with. Their 3rd-round pick, Darian Porter's 6'2", 195, and DeCamerion Richardson, who struggled last year when he started the last 8 games as a rookie. Same thing, 6'2", long, fast. So, like, that's what they're relying on the outside. Jeremy Chin is very versatile. You know, we did this thing in the preseason on the TV broadcast where we showed how many positions he lined up at and how many plays that last year for Washington. And, you know, it's a big, heavy dose of safety. It's a big, heavy dose of linebacker. He also played some defensive line. Like, he's going to be a nickel corner. Like, he is everywhere. And that's wonderful. That's kind of like a Kyle Hamilton type thing for the Ravens. Bigger, stronger type guy of that. And then, you know, there's a couple of wild cards too, because Jamal Adams and Devin White are going to play a lot. And they are former All-Pro, Pro Bowl guys at their respective positions. But it's been a while since they played like that. And Jamal Adams has been because of injuries. And Devin White, whatever reason it didn't work in Tampa, you know, he kind of bounced around from Philly to Houston last year, but they think they've unlocked his old ability. He's not old. You know, it just feels like he's been a while since he was that good, but he was that good. So you got that, and I'm curious to see how that plays out tomorrow. You know, as for the running back, I don't know if Raheem Mostert is going to be our backup, to be honest. They have talked up Zamir White so much during training camp, and he may be the second guy behind Ashton Genty. So we'll see that tomorrow. Look, Raheem is a guy who was with Chip Kelly in Philadelphia. Then he was with Chip Kelly in San Francisco. He is a veteran. He is valuable. He is certainly someone you could rely on. And we're only 2 years removed from him leading the NFL with 21 total touchdowns. So you've got that. But guys, Ashton Genty is not coming off the field that much. Like that's the other part of this is that he impressed them so much with his pass protection. People forget he had 80 catches in college. His hands are outstanding. Like he wants to be LaDainian Tomlinson when his career is said and done. And LaDainian Tomlinson never came off the field except for when they went to Darren Sproles. So I think you're going to see a lot of Ashton Genty.
That's why I've always said, thank God for Michael Turner. Because God, when he left the Chargers and went to Atlanta, everybody saw that they had 3 running backs during that San Diego team at that time. Real quick before we let you go, we've already mentioned Jacoby early in this. Have they kind of figured out the contract situation? Is he going to be playing much in week 1?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yes, yeah, 100%. He's going to play. Jacoby has said, I don't know. What I mean is I don't know what the contract is going to be.
Right.
I have no knowledge of whether or not they're going to get this done during the season or it's going to go and he's going to be a free agent next year who, they could franchise tag, but that number for a wide receiver, when you think about the contracts of Jefferson and Jamar Chase and CD, like it would be astronomical. Right. So, so I don't know what they're going to do. But Jacoby has said, look, I did not go the holdout route of Terry McLaurin or some of these other guys because I didn't want to do that to my teammates. I love Jacoby Myers. He is wonderful to talk to. He is approachable. He is knowledgeable. He's a former quarterback that was a guy who worked his way into a really good receiver and then an undrafted free agent who's done some things that are up there with the top 5 undrafted free agent wide receivers ever in this point of his career. So I hope he's with the Raiders for a long time. He's a really good player and really good at what he does. But, they're going to have to figure that part out.
I agree with you. Well, Jason, thank you so much for your time, my friend. We hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, next week you got the Monday night game,
Absolutely.
the home game against the I believe it's the Chargers, and our station is planning on being out there. So we'll
oh nice.
We'll touch with you next week, and we'll see if we can get you back on. We appreciate your time, and go Raiders. I hate the Patriots. I'm rooting for you.
Could you at least have picked a different non-Kansas City Chief Dolphin to wear? Like, there's so many Dolphins that you go with Jalen Waddle. Maybe you're a Jalen Phillips bounce back guy. Maybe you just have fun with Chop Robinson. Does it have to be Tyreek Hill?
I had to just because my thing is just like a lot of NFL fans. I have probably 20 different Dolphin jerseys, but about 18 of them don't play for us anymore. So I have to recoup. I'm waiting on those rivalry jerseys. But I almost wore my my white Waddle today, and I have a Chop Robinson I was going to wear, but I figured I'd start it out with some Tyreek. I'm hoping.
It's good to know you're spending your entire paycheck on jerseys.
Yeah, you know how
really
money is radio.
Jason, he gave you half, man. He gave you the black and silver version at least, right?
That's true.
Yeah, he gave you a little bit. He gave you a little bit.
He did.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate it. We
care,
hope
guys.
to talk to you soon, man. We got to take a break real quick, pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.
Call or text into the early
and integrity. We don't set the bar. Golden Empire Youth Football is the bar in Kern.
FM. Now, back to Sparky and Burdick.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield, as well as streaming live video-wise online at YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, all that good stuff. Go follow us, go share, like. I want to thank Jason Horowitz for joining us. We'll get him back next week. Hopefully,
The
talk
voice
about
of your Raiders.
absolutely talk about the Monday night game against the Chargers next week. But we got to get to our next guest of the day, Alejandro, the owner operator of all of your favorite places, Bakersfield Pizza Company, Camino Real, and the District Bistro is here. Sir, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me once again.
So you got me excited because the reason we got you in here is you guys are announcing a new rewards program, royalty program. How are we going to spin this?
Yeah, so we're working on a rewards program that's going to reward you for visiting our 3 locations.
Okay.
So we've never really promoted ourselves as having all 3 locations. We want the community to know that yes, they're all under one ownership.
Mhm.
So we created this umbrella called Ocampo Restaurant Group. And with this concept, we're going to have an app that's going to reward you for visiting these local veteran-owned establishments.
Fantastic. Okay, so what do they have to do in order to get these rewards?
So once we have the app, right now we're in the final stages of finishing up. So the way it's going to work is if you spend like a set minimum on every visit, every time you check in, you get a free appetizer. And then after 3 visits at each location, you're going to get a dinner for 2. It's just going to encourage you to try different specials and get rewarded for supporting local business.
Fantastic. So basically, you walk in, buy bread at one place, you get the little check mark, go to the next place, buy something.
Yeah.
Third place, you're
Score.
done, and then you get a dinner for 2 for free.
Yeah.
At any of the 3 locations,
At
right?
any of the 3 locations, yeah.
You hear that, babe?
That
You
is
hear?
awesome. So, okay, what are there limitations on that dinner for 2 in terms of how much you can spend?
So we've been working on a lot of different things. So this leads us to the next thing. We started at the district. It's been doing great.
Mhm.
It's this concept that's called 3 for 23. So you get 3 different appetizer options,
Mhm.
and you get to choose one as a shareable,
Mhm.
and then you get 3 different dinner options. One of them's like a double cheeseburger, the other one's a pulled pork sandwich, and the other
Mhm.
one's a fried chicken sandwich.
Oh, right.
So you get to choose 2 of those. And so the idea is you get 3 dishes for $23.
Fried chicken sandwich.
Yeah, it's really good.
My mind just started rolling out. What?
And so the idea is 3 for 23 means 3 items for $23, and that's a shareable option. So we have that at the district right now every day from 6 to 8, and then we're going to be expanding it to Camino Real and to Bakersfield Pizza.
Fantastic.
So once the app rolls out, it's going to combine that dinner for 2 option, and it's going to be complimentary, like a perk of being in the rewards program.
Okay, fantastic. So each of these locations are going to have basically their own 3 for 23.
Eventually, that's what we're planning. So right now, we rolled it out the district. It's been doing great. People are loving the 3 for 23.
That's a good deal. It's a dang good deal.
Yeah, no, it's great because it allows people to come in, try some of the food. They see 100%. The menu, and then we make them lifelong customers.
And talk about the menu. Anything big going on? I mean, football's here. We got to get something new in there, right?
Yeah. So I think what's really neat at all locations, we extend happy hour during the football games.
Okay.
So all locations will honor happy hour during the football games.
Fantastic. So what is that, like noon to 6 o'clock at night, basically?
I mean, when there's a football game on, we have happy hour going on. So.
And I have to bring up. So last time we had you on, you brought up the wing flavors and the PB&J stuck to me. So we went immediately that weekend.
I forgot to ask you about that.
They are incredible, and I mixed them up with the sweet and spicy, which is one of my favorites now. And me and my wife have been texting. I've already got a couple lists that I'm next this weekend. I'm gonna go try the Caribbean jerk.
Oh, they're delicious.
And the jalapeno pesto, which is all of my favorite flavors all into one. So
that's I want to clarify. That's at Bakersfield Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah.
So the Caribbean jerk, man. If you're gonna do the Caribbean jerk wings, ask for the wings oven baked.
Okay.
Crispy. So they run them through the oven. They get like a nice little char, a little smokiness to it. And ask for the Caribbean sauce on the side.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is your wing's going to keep that texture, that crunchy texture, and you're going to control the amount of sauce you want on your wing.
A lot.
bro, it's so good. Oven baked crispy wings.
I wanted to bring up at Bakersfield Pizza Co. I saw a couple that was next to us. They had the big shareable beer.
Oh yeah, the big ass towers.
Yeah. So what is that?
It's
a big ass tower. Is it-
Absolutely.
that's-
Beer
that's
towers,
pretty much-
baby.
I was like, what is that?
That's a
baby?
necessity for football season.
Yeah, we don't want pictures. We do towers.
No, we do towers in
Yeah.
Bakersfield.
You know, when you walk in and you see people with towers, you automatically like, I want that.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah. So that's the towers do great, especially at Bakersfield Pizza during the games. You know, all the TVs. It's a great vibe. Very open space.
What beers do you guys have on tap for the towers?
You know, my brother is the beer connoisseur. He's the
So
one.
many.
Yeah, he's a veteran, so he loves his beer. So he's very particular. So particular that something that's been in the works is my brother will be taking ownership of Crusaders.
Oh, nice. Brewing.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So he's going to be part of that partnership, which makes sense because he's there all the time.
Yeah.
So might as well just become a partner. And we're excited because we're going to be able to come up with some cool brews for the restaurant.
Absolutely.
It's just really neat.
Get your own signature ones going.
Yeah. We got some cool little seltzers that we're working on that'll be Mexican inspired with California love for Camino Real. We'll do some cool ones for the district. And again, it's part of the growth. It's the community support. And it's the fact that my brother was there all the time. So might as well make him a business
Might as
owner.
well. But not only are you guys super busy, you're putting a rewards program together. I've got to try all these wing flavors before the football season ends. So I've got my work put out. But tomorrow we'll see you out at the Village Fest, right?
Yes, dude. I didn't get home till like 5 o'clock this morning. We made.
Make me feel bad for calling you in.
No,
here.
you're good. No, I'm excited. You know, how often do we get the opportunity to speak directly to our community? We just finished packaging and making over 3,000 popsicles. So we did these sour blue raspberry ones.
What?
And then we did these other ones called Mango Pop, which is inspired by a cocktail that we make. It's a combination of pineapple, peach, mango, chile, and just like a little splash of watermelon in there. And these are so good, man. So
You know everyone's gonna be talking about those tomorrow.
I swear, if you're sold out by the time I get to you, I'm gonna be upset.
So we're excited about that. And then we're gonna be there with the district. We're taking it's a 3-cheese mac with our smoked pulled pork, and then we're taking our house-made barbecue, and then we have a barbecue matcha. Matcha is like a garlic chili oil, and we infuse it with the barbecue. So good, man.
That's
it's really good.
interesting.
So, we were gonna participate with Camino Real and Bakersfield Pizza, but what ends up happening is everybody abandons me, and it's a lot of work. So we narrowed it down to the popsicles because they're prepackaged. It's easy.
Naturally.
And the district because it's our newest concept. So we want people to know more about the district and who we are.
It'll be perfect to send away summer with these popsicles.
100%. I need one of those sour ones. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. You know,
I'm a sucker for sour candies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I was just telling our guy over here on our sister station that when Rockstar discontinued their sour green apple flavor.
Oh,
I cried. I was like, no.
Yeah, so
But
we started doing more of the sour flavors about a year ago. They've been really popular, so we figured sour blue raspberry would be a hit at Village Fest this weekend.
absolutely.
Yeah, so just a lot going on.
Hell of a lot.
Apps, Village Fest,
Football starting.
When does the
football, wedding season's here? We got weddings in Paso Robles. We got weddings in San Diego. A lot of catering.
Golly.
Yeah.
real quick, because I forgot to ask you when we were talking about it, do you have a set day or kind of time frame for when the app is going to drop?
Not yet, but I would love to come back and announce
Absolutely.
it here and get the community involved. It's just really cool. The company we're working with, we're putting it together, the graphics, the ease of use. It's just literally your number. You don't have to download anything. But it's a really great way to reward our customers and incentivize them to try new dishes. So we're really excited
100%.
about that.
That's awesome.
I'm pumped. And you need some sleep before
Yeah,
tomorrow because
absolutely.
tomorrow's gonna kick your butt too.
Sleep,
And
what is it?
yeah, right. I've seen the temperatures starting to go down after tonight. So I was looking
Thank
at next week. It was in the 80s. I was like,
Yep.
okay, I'll
Yeah,
take that.
It's looking nice.
It's like my nighttime is actually going to feel like nighttime again. What?
Right?
That's wild. But thank you, my friend, for your time. As always, we really appreciate it. Anything else you want to shout out before we let you go?
No, just thank you, Bakersfield. Thank you guys for having me on here.
Anytime,
man.
It's just really neat, and it's really neat how this works, right? You were just eating at the restaurant, and I
Mhm.
just extended like how's your meals, and just just kind of taking care of you as a customer. I had no idea you were this super popular guy that had a cool sick show. And so, but this is a testament to for restaurant owners out there, and to just participate with your customers. Go out there,
Absolutely.
greet them, get feedback, say hi. You never know who you're shaking hands with.
The beauty of being personable.
Right.
Yes.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that was one of the coolest things. Me and my wife were talking about it. We had our son over there having pizza, just a weekend deal. And it's rare. A lot of business owners, they're hit and miss if you ever see them at all. And the first time we got to meet, you came up right to our table, we got to chatting, got to talking, and it made the whole experience super cool. And we're fans for life. So we'll be hitting all 3 spots, and we'll see you tomorrow at Village Fest.
100%.
Go tell them hi. Tell them you heard them on the early bird special, and let me know how these popsicles are, because I have to rush back for BC football.
Oh wow,
So,
busy day.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it happens. Somebody's
I'll
got
have
to
a beer
keep us
for
on
you.
the air. Yes, and have a popsicle for us.
Absolutely.
But Alejandro, we appreciate your time. We'll get you back on. Let us know when the rewards is up. Anytime, you're more than welcome here, brother.
We'll be back soon. Thank you guys.
sir. We got to take a break real quick, pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.
The The Bird Special.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. ESPN Bakersfield, streaming live online video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff at the Early Bird Special. Just go follow us, share, like, all that good stuff, whatever the kids say these days. We got NFL football all weekend long, as well as college football. You could listen to it right here on ESPN Bakersfield. I apologize. Greg Kerr drew all over on the back of my notes here. Football game starting tonight. The Chargers at the Chiefs at 4:30 right here on ESPN Bakersfield. And Saturday, got some college ball for you as well. Baylor taking on number 17 SMU at 8:30 in the morning. Oklahoma State will be taking on number 6 Oregon at noon. And then we will end with Michigan taking on number 18 Oklahoma at 4. Sunday's games, you'll hear Mr. Horowitz, our guest today, and the Raiders taking on the Patriots at 9:30 in the morning. The
Go
Lions
Raiders.
will be taking on the Bakersfield boy of Jordan Love and the Packers at 1. And then we will end with the Ravens headed to Buffalo to take on the MVP and Josh Allen
Go
and the
Ravens.
Bills.
Well, before I get into some of these texts,
Yes.
I wanted to hear your thoughts on this announcement yesterday with Tyson and Mayweather.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. So
Legend versus legend.
I was told this by our guy, Randy, from down the hall at Hot 94.1, who came into the studio while I was producing and said, please tell me you saw this. And I said, what? He looked at me and said, we got a new super fight. And I said, who's going now? I mean, we got Canelo Crawford. Who's up? Let's go. Let's get boxing back into this. And he said, Mayweather Tyson. I said, why?
What? What?
Y'all are killing boxing. You really are. Like, at this point, you can't blame the Paul boys. You really can't. Like, let's be honest. This is what we get now, right? I love Mike Tyson. I do. But do we really need to be watching all these guys beat up on an 80-year-old? I know he's not 80. Don't text in. I get
58.
it. He's 80 in fighting years.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, no, actually, he'll be 59 at the fight. Mayweather will be 48.
and Mayweather, of course, protecting his record. I can't with this so much. It's terrible that the Tank Davis and Jake Paul fight is a bigger fight, in my opinion, than anything in this area. I find it to be kind of a joke at this point, if I'm being completely honest. Text in 661-842-2000. Call me a dummy.
I'm a
I don't
diehard
care.
Tyson fan, but I think I'm going to have to pass on this one.
Dude, this is so dumb. This is really, it really is. And at this point, it's exploiting Mike Tyson. It really is. Like, Mayweather, you got no business with this. None. And are we really going to, well, depending on how they actually send this out to the world, pay-per-view or Netflix or however, if you're paying for this, you're paying to watch a 48, 49-year-old Mayweather run around a almost 60-year-old Mike Tyson while neither of them are actually trying to fight each other, and they both make off with a cool, couple $1 million?
Couple million at least, probably.
So I guess
I would hope
nice
you don't have to pay for this one. I hope.
No, they're going to pay for it. There's no reason. It's Money Mayweather. That man don't do nothing if he's not getting paid for it. So it's going to most likely be behind a paywall. And again, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. It's a little ridiculous, in my opinion. 661-842-2000. Call me a dummy. Call me an idiot if you want. But personally, I don't need to see Mayweather Tyson really in an exhibition. I would rather see Frank Gore and Nate Robinson. Legitimately. Oh gosh. Like, no one needs to see Mayweather Tyson. That's ridiculous. But we got some text messages.
We do. This one says, who do you guys think will be benched first, Joe Flacco or Russell Wilson?
Ooh, that's a good question. My gut says Russ, but my head says Joe. And it's not necessarily because either of them are going to look bad, but it's more going to be pressure from ownership and fans. I think the fans pressure the Cleveland Browns to put Joe Flacco down faster than the New York fans call for Jackson Dart.
I mean, if they come out and beat Cincinnati this week.
But it's the same thing. If the Giants come out and shock the world and beat Washington this week,
nobody's going to be
Yeah.
calling for Russ's job either.
See, and
So
I'm going to go with the Giants just because I know the ball is looking to keep his job, or maybe he's not. I don't know.
Maybe he is.
But I think, and of course, with the media behind Shador and their quarterbacks in Cleveland, I could probably see the Flacco. It depends on, I mean, what if he comes out and wins the first 3 or 4 games,
Right?
And then you're like, well, now we're in contention of making a playoff run. I mean, do you want to touch that or?
Well, here's the thing I'm also thinking. At least last year, we knew Joe Flacco was a competent and steady starting quarterback for the Colts. Russ hasn't necessarily looked like that since he left Seattle. So until that is proven otherwise, I guess the logical answer here would be Russell Wilson because of just his game. But it just something to me makes me believe that the fan base and the ownership and all of that are going to be pressuring for somebody like Dylan or Shador to take over in Cleveland faster than that idiot GM in New York who still somehow has a job after we see him last year ship away Saquon Barkley for nothing, is going to get pressured into making Jackson Dart their starter.
Yeah, I'm still surprised he still has his job, but we asked listeners to call in on their thoughts of the whole spit situation last night.
Absolutely.
And we've got Don Kessler on the line.
Coach, how are you?
What's going on, guys?
Not a whole ton, sir. How did you feel about this? I mean, Dak clearly baited, but
could there be anything more disrespectful to do to somebody?
it's true. It's absolutely true.
Absolutely. In this time and day, even in not this time and day, to walk up to a guy, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that guy ought to lose some games.
Yep.
That guy ought to lose the season. I mean, you can't find anything more disrespectful to walk up to a guy and spit on him as an athlete that you are.
Oh, 100%. That's what I said. And the league is going to be looking into this disciplinary wise based on that, right? Your respect of your opponent. Nothing of what Dak technically did was illegal. People spit on the ground all the time, whether it was in his vicinity or not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
it happens every day in sports.
Exactly.
The only place they probably don't spit is in a basketball game. Everybody else spits on the ground, and whether he spit at his feet,
yeah,
you don't think trash talking is worse, and then you're going to spit, cameras on you, and you're going to spit in the guy's chest or wherever. In some places, as we know, that could be an assault.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like, hey, back in the 70s and 80s, but I just was, I talked to my kid. He goes, I can't believe that guy did that.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe he would do that and think, and I hope nobody came into his defense. I don't care what Dak Prescott said to him. I hope no one is coming to that guy's defense.
Well, if you look at the video as well, I don't think Dak did it originally to really bait him at all. I think he was just spitting. And then when he realized Jalen reacted to it, that's when he said, oh, I got into the young kid's head. And then that's when all of this kind of spiraled. I agree with you. Jalen needs to see at least a game suspension for this, just solely based on your respect for your opponent. And we knew that Carter came in with some attitude issues when he left the college and came into the pros. That's why he dropped in the draft stock. But this was a little ridiculous. You're the best player on that defense, and for you to go about it in that way, you just shot yourself in the foot. Almost lost your team the game, in my opinion.
Well, Chris, this is my thing too. As a dad of an athlete,
yep.
You think about this. Not only did his mom and dad's friends and grandparents and brothers and sisters and everybody in the country who knows this young man, and people might go, well, it's not that big a deal. But it truly is. That shows your character.
Mm-hmm.
That shows your character because a guy baited you. Whether he baited you, hey, I'd rather have the guy punch him in the face.
Yep. 100%.
I'd rather see Prescott get punched in the face.
Yep.
But to spit on somebody is the most, I don't know, maybe I'm making a big deal.
No, you're not.
That's seriously
one of the most disgusting things you could actually do to somebody. And for you to get baited because he spit on the carpet or he spit on the football field, come on.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be a professional athlete. We were taught this when we were in Little League, that there's always a line, and spitting in someone's face or just spitting in their direction. It is one of the number one disrespectful things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to be a professional athlete. There's got to be some type of discipline coming his way.
No home training.
And I don't think it's just one game, but to see the NFL, I can see them, having some type of fine, and I think that's more of a maybe where Coach Sirianni maybe steps in and benches him for a game or two and kind of teach him, because that comes all the way into the way you're coaching, and you got to have that strict, that line with your players.
Well, because right now every player's looking at it.
Yep.
And they get fined. Obviously, I can tell you a story. They get fined for every little thing.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, you have to set some kind of example, whether the league or the coach, and go, this is just cannot be tolerated. And if he's only getting 1 game suspension, who's to say somebody won't get, spit on in the bottom of a pile, and I'm sure it happens, but
all the time,
to do something like that, something that is just, I couldn't believe that. I really couldn't believe it.
And to do it with thinking nothing was going to happen too, because you saw by his reaction that he was like, really, you're going to kick me out for that? Yes, they're going to kick you out for that, dummy.
Yeah, not only how disrespectful it is, but I mean, we just watched the banner and, Boys to Men coming out. It was supposed to be this big spectacular,
your teammate
championship.
has a blown out knee on the other side of the field, and you're worried about spitting on Dak Prescott.
Exactly.
Like, that's ridiculous.
I mean, you're not getting ready for a football game. You're not getting ready to beat the defending Super Bowl champions. You're so disrespectful to the quarterback of the team, whether you like him or not. You're going to walk up and spit on him on camera, national TV, everything's close up. And that's what you feel you need to do, get ready for a football game.
Beautifully said, Coach. I can't say it better myself, man. Thank you so much for calling. We love hearing from you. And tell Cody he's doing a fantastic job with the Trojans. We got to get him on soon.
Hey, thank you so much. He definitely will. And love the show. I really do. I will tell you this, though. I would like to hear a little more college stuff.
Oh, we're getting to it. Trust me.
Okay.
I know this week was taken over by the NFL. It's week 1, but trust me.
Understood.
I'll be watching plenty of college ball over the weekend. You'll hear plenty of it next week.
Something else too, Chris, you guys do such a great job. I mean, it was great. You guys all do a great job. A segment maybe on a Monday or something, talk about high school games or big plays or something like that. Because those kids, they're busting their butt. And I know I love Bakersfield. I love all the sports about it. I love everything about it. Just kind of cool to hear some names in high school stuff. And I know it's not big, but you got a lot of people listening to your show.
We got to, but we also have the Greg Kerr show in the afternoon. So we try not to step on each other's toes.
It's hard to outdo local stuff when you got the local dean of sports at noon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I truly get it. Get it. Hey, you guys do a great job. I try to listen to you every morning. Keep up the great work, and fight on as always.
Thanks, Coach. Fight on. We'll talk to you soon. We got to take a break real quick, pay some bills. We got some other stuff to talk about on the other side. Looks like Caitlin Clark made a surprising purchase we could talk about a little bit as well. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. Streaming video live every single day on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook as well. Go find us at the Early Bird Special. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that good stuff.
Big shout out to the voice of the Las Vegas Raiders, Jason Horowitz.
Who will be with us next week as well.
Ahead of the
on
Monday
Friday.
night game, and hopefully they're 1-0 and smack down those Patriots
And
for
we
us.
are working on at least one of us potentially getting out there to the game with our program director, JR Flores. So
Yeah, we'll have to take turns.
potentially next Monday, not this upcoming Monday, but next Monday, the one after that, I'm pretty sure I will most likely be the one out there first doing the show live from Vegas. Maybe we can get a Raider or two in an interview while I'm out there as well. And yeah, we'll be switching off, going out to the Raider games as much as humanly possible to be able to cover those for you guys. But there's a couple stories that we got to get to before we get out of here. You wrestling fans, hope you're ready for tonight's Friday Night SmackDown. It's the last one you're going to see John Cena.
And CM Punk returns to Chicago, and I've heard some rumors that Brock Lesnar is in Chicago.
Well, I don't think that's the one everybody wants to see at this
I
point.
don't care about AJ.
I know a lot of people don't care about AJ Lee, but to be honest with you, I think it is in the works outside of that potentially being Rhea Ripley, because I think a lot of people are going to get upset when they hear Rhea Ripley's music.
I would much
when they're
rather.
looking for help.
I've
but
heard AJ Lee could make her return at the PLE.
it would make more sense that way, right? You save the big shock for last and have everybody's favorite pop up. I just
Keep them on the edge of their seat.
as long as AJ comes back and is better than Nikki, I don't care.
That's right.
Look, man, I loved the Bella Twins growing up. I did. They're fantastic tag team. Nikki and Brie are great wrestlers. But man, that was ugly. I'm sorry. That last PLE was so bad. I can't get over it. I can't get over how bad some of these matches have been. And everybody blaming Becky Lynch for this is absurd. That woman can have a great
She's not
match
selling it.
with a freaking broomstick. When you got a woman that's got her hands on the back of your head trying to look like she's bashing it into a pipe, but looks like she's just more shaking you like an angry baby. And like that's not on her. I don't know. Again, the bar has been set. So let's get over that.
I did hear a podcast yesterday where Ronda Rousey took a shot at WWE, and I was like, what?
Ronda is Ronda. I love Ronda as a fighter, but she has been very critical of the WWE and how the WWE kind of does their business. She was very critical of her booking in general, and to take shots at Alexa like that was ridiculous. She was essentially saying that they forced her to wrestle Alexa Bliss because Alexa was the highest merch sales.
And she's below me.
Yeah, and she's below me and she doesn't deserve to fight me. Look, you're not in the UFC, sweetheart. This isn't Dana. This is a show. We're not expecting to see you come out and be badass Ronda Rousey. We're expecting you to come out and be rowdy Ronda. It's a completely different thing. And that's the thing. I don't think she ever kind of grasped that. I think that's why that entire partnership was just kind of a botch altogether. Like it could have been so cool. It could have been so much fun, along with the Stephen Amell stuff at the time. That's the one you really should have held on to. You should have held on to Stephen Amell. That guy is fantastic. And he could have been a great wrestler for you. But again, that's why we got Heels in that great television show as well. But this Ronda Rousey thing, her taking shots at the WWE, just shows me you're immature and you never got over the fact that you just don't get it. Just don't get it.
We'll go out to Bakersfield Village Fest. Tickets, there's limited tickets available if you haven't got them yet.
I'll be out there.
And we can go see our boy Alejandro out there, get you a popsicle.
If you see me out there with an early bird shirt, come by, say hi. I'm sure Sparky will be out there as well with his stuff on. We'd love to see you guys, talk to you guys. But until then, we got to get out of here. This is going to be a great weekend of football. Hope you guys enjoy it. Listen to it right here on ESPN Bakersfield all weekend long.
Fins up.
Chargers, Chiefs, Baylor's SMU, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Michigan, Oklahoma, Raiders, Patriots, Lions, Packers, and Ravens and Bills. And we'll be back here Monday to talk about it all. But until then, Sparky, let's get out of here.